Hi folks, welcome back to the shop here at Project Pine Hills. Today we're talking about this Klein Tools 17-in-1 Impact Hybrid Driver. You can see the part number is 32517HD. There's all the bits that it comes with. You can pause the video and check that out. You can see it's part of Klein KNECT S system. We'll talk about that. A quick look at the back. They talk about the Klein KNECT S and the fact that it has a 1/2-inch collet. You can pause the video there and check it out. And it's made in Taiwan. Now you notice this Klein Tools 17-in-1 is similar to the 16-in-1 we've covered on this channel before. I'll have a link to that video. You can check it out. You can see they've taken the 5/16 from this flip socket and moved it over to an additional socket on the 17-in-1 where you have a 5/16 and a 3/8 socket. And the bit holder is now a dedicated feature. We'll talk about that. All right, let's take a look at this 17-in-1. You can see right here we have the part number on the handle, that 32517HD. You can see right here on the end cap it's got Impact 17-in-1. Bit carousel on the handle. Now this bit carousel has 10 bits in it. You can see they're impact bits. They have that orange torsion ring, shows they're designed to work with an impact. All the bits are laser etched. You can see that when there's a Torx T20. Now I've removed 2 bits from this bit carousel so I can show that this is one piece of polymer all the way through, including this divider, and this divider is key. If you didn't have this divider, the bits would fall out. But you can see this is one piece of polymer that goes all the way down and then connects to this acetate down here on the end. So that's key to make a good carousel. Klein didn't have this on the original bit carousels. They didn't have this divider either. So if you had problems with the original version, so did I. They've really improved this carousel to make it more standard. Also notice when I squeeze this handle, it doesn't have a ton of deflection here in the acetate, especially when you shut the cap. So the handle's nice and solid, unlike some of the early Klein bit carousel handles that were out. Now, if we compare it to the 16-in-1 impact driver, you can see there's just one digit that's difference in the part numbers. The 16-in-1 has a 6 and a 7 in that 17-in-1. Now, the bit loadout is nearly the same in these two drivers, except there's a T25 Torx bit in the 16-in-1, and they've changed that in the 17-in-1 to a combination bit. You can see it's labeled there as C2, and that's designed to work with screws on electrical receptacles. Now, if you look at the front of this driver, it has a 3.5-inch shank with 2 sockets on it and a bit driver on the front. Now, it comes with the number 2 Phillips here on the tip. If we take that bit out, we can open up the bit carousel, take a bit out of the back here, put it in this bit driver, and it's magnetic. You can see how it pulls in that bit. Now the bits alone are not magnetic, but when you put them in the 17-in-1 driver, it does pass some magnetism, unlike the 16-in-1, which doesn't pass the magnetism to the bit. Now if you take this bit off, you can grab this flip bit, and you'll see there's a magnet there right on the tip. If you flip it around, we have this 1/4-inch socket here on the end. You can take it and that'll drive a 1/4-inch screw. You can see it's magnetically holds the screw in place. Now on this original 16-in-1, you can see it had the same 3.5-inch shank. And the difference is in this front end socket. You can see on the 16-in-1 it had a flip socket that you could pull down, take the bit out, and there's your 1/4-inch socket for driving screws. Or I can take this socket and push it out and it clicks into place, and now I can drive a bit with it. So it's also a bit driver. It serves 2 purposes. But if you look at these side by side, you can see the new 17-in-1 has a dedicated bit driver. So the idea on this one was you would remove the bit, pop the socket off, flip it around. Now you can drive a 5/16 screw, and it magnetically holds that screw in place. But with this new 17-in-1, you take out the bit, you flip the socket around, and now you have a 1/4-inch driver there as well. But if you want to get to the 5/16, you have to go down here and take it off to the shank. Right, so we take this shank out. You have to remove this 1/4-inch bit, back off the 5/16, and then put that out there on the front end to drive the 5/16. And of course, then you can take it off, flip it around, and now you're driving 3/8. The other great thing about these screwdrivers is they have a collet in here that accepts a 1/4-inch shank. So we can take this shank out, and you can put any size 1/4-inch in here. For example, I can put this Malco bit in here and drive that. And the idea is that you can remove this and put it on your impact. And you can also then take this collet out. Now you have a 3-inch square drive for sockets on here. And you can take this over here, pop off this socket, and then put this 3/8 drive on here. And then you can take a 3/8 socket, like I have this Klein hybrid set back here. I have a 9/16 socket here that I can take and put right on there. And now I can drive any 3/8 sockets with this impact. And of course I can also take this off, go back and put this in the handle, and I can drive the socket with the handle. There's that 3/8 drive on there. Now another thing you can do with this 3/8 driver is we can take one of these deep well sockets that have a 3/8 square drive up inside them. You can see I can take this socket here, this 13 mil flip socket, and pop it right on the impact. Right, we can take that, flip it around, and it'll also mount on here the other way. So that's how this 17-in-1 impact is designed to work. Now we mentioned this is compatible with Klein KNECT S. That means if we take this collet out, you'll see we have a 1/2-inch 12-point socket right here. Now I can go over to this Klein KNECT S starter kit, and anything in this KNECT S set will work in here. I can take this 9/16 socket, pop it right in there and drive that socket. Or I can take this socket out, grab this 3-inch extension, put that on here, put the 9/16 socket on, and now I can take this 9/16 bolt, and you can see it can pass right through this socket and extension. We can also remove this collet and take this pass-through ratchet out of the Klein KNECT starter kit, and you see that this will pass right through this ratchet, and that ball bearing will catch right there in the middle. So now you can drive sockets with this ratchet. Okay, or you can use the other end of the collet to drive anything that's 1/4 inch. So now we can drive this shank with the ratchet or any of these sockets. So if I wanted to drive this 1/4 inch socket, I could do that with this ratchet as well. So all of it is designed to work together with KNECT S. So for example, we can take this collet out and I can grab this adapter here. This is the whole Klein KNECT starter kit. It's 6.5 300 KNECT kit. So here's a 1/2 inch combination wrench. So you can see all this stuff that's KNECT S is simply a 12-point 1/2 inch size. So we can take this, pop that right in the 17-1 handle, and now we can use this shank as well. So if we go over here and open up this Klein 20-piece deep well socket set, and I can grab one of these sockets here, let's say this, here's metric size 8 and 10, and you can see I can drive this 10mm socket as well. So it pops right on there, fits on the shank perfectly. Take it off, move it around, now we're driving 8mm. So all this stuff's designed to be compatible. And you'll see in the KNECT S kit, we even have a KNECT S 1/4 inch adapter. I can put that in there. Now I can drive any 1/4 inch socket. So you have all those options since this tool is compatible with KNECT S. So as you can see, this 17-1 impact has a lot in common with the Klein 16-1 impact. Taking a closer look at these two shanks, you can see the new 17-1 dedicated bit holder allows the bits to go deeper into the socket. You can see on the original 16-1, the bit stands a little bit higher in this 1/4 inch socket versus the 17-1 over here. Instead of having a 5/16 here, they moved that down here onto the shank and this additional socket that you have. You'll notice the 17-1 socket is smaller, so it's going to be able to fit into tighter spaces than that original flip socket on the 16-1. You can see these two shanks have the same part number on them, 32932. When you look at the magnets on these two drivers, you can see they're identical. Now, how compatible is this Klein 17-1 with the Klein Impact 11-1? Well, they're both KNECT S compatible, which means we can take this collet out of the 11-1. Now we can take that 3/8 square adapter and put it in that Impact 11-1. It would slide right in there. And then you can take this shank out and then put in one of the Klein 11-1 bits. So you can pair these up however works best for you. You can say I can flip that in. Now I've got that 3/8 driver out there. So it's completely compatible with the Klein Impact 11-1 and the Impact 11-1 ratcheting. Now you notice on this Impact 11-1, it comes with the ball bearing collet. Now originally it came with a C-clip. Now if you're in the store looking at these, it's hard to tell the difference because they have the same part number on the packaging. If you want the one that has the ball bearing in the collet, look for the driver that has the heavier knurling. If the 11-1 has lighter knurling like this, that's the C-clip. The heavier knurling is the one with the ball bearing. Let's do a quick comparison between the collets on this Impact 17-1 and this Impact 11-1 ratcheting driver. And you can see them here side by side, and they're nearly identical. They have that same center part of the collet with the ball bearing, with the 17-1 just having that 3/8 drive on it. You can see the knurling's not as heavy on the 17-1 as it is on the 11-1. Now this tool's not designed so much for a shop setting as it is for working on site. That's the idea of having 17 tools in one, on-site managed. So picture working multiple floors in a building or you're working out of a tool pouch. It's nice to be able to have 17 tools on you. Now you can set this up however you want. For example, I can take this shank off. Let's say I want to switch out this 5/16 to 3/8. I can take that off. Now I've got this metric socket rail here from Klein. I can take off this 10mm. And this hex driver really is just a bit rail. And I can slide this up on this rail. It allows you to have your rail stowed with you. So I can put that in there. Now I got a metric 10 and 12 socket on this driver. So you can set this up for whatever best works for you. So there you have it, the Klein 17-1. It's very similar to the 16-1. I think deciding between these two, it's going to come down to whether or not you're changing out for the 5/16 socket a lot. If you want to have quick access to 5/16, you're going to want the 16-1 because it has that quick access to the socket. If you don't like having to push the 1/4 inch up so it can act as a bit holder, and you don't use 5/16 a lot, well then you want to go with the 17-1. Just remember though, if you need the 5/16 on here, you got to remove this shank and then pull this socket off. So that's a lot of extra steps if you need the 5/16. So with that said, let me know in the comments what you think of this Klein 17-1. Do you like it better than the 16-1? I'll have a link to both of them in the description. And please remember to like and subscribe. All those actions help me to continue to bring content to you here on the Project Pine Hills channel. And with that said, check out this next video.